Hell hath no fury than a mining town full of widows. Hey guys, it's G from the F Word here to review for you Netflix's Godless. Now, Godless is a show directed by Scott Frank and produced by Steven Soderbergh. Steven Soderbergh most notably for the Ocean's movies, and Scott Frank has been a writer for the majority of his career, doing work on Minority Report with Steven Spielberg and Tom Cruise. He also did Logan, and he also did The Wolverine, so I don't know how much directing experience he has, but he knocked it out of the park with this. It also stars Jeff Daniels, who plays Frank Griffin, a legendary outlaw in these parts, a bona fide badass. He has raised this child named Roy Good, picked him up as an orphan, and Roy Good eventually betrays him, ends up in the town of Belle, which is that mining town I was mentioning, full of widows, and we get our story from there. The mining town do have a sheriff in Bill McNew, but he lost his wife, kind of lost his manhood because of it, and no one really sees him as a sheriff or any type of a man. He's also losing his sight, which doesn't help. We got Whitey Wynn, played by Thomas Brody Sangster, who is his right hand, fast-talking, gunslinging 20-year-old kid. Kind of reminds me of Leonardo DiCaprio in The Quick and the Dead, if you remember that movie. We have Alice Fletcher. We also have Agnes, who's actually controlling the town as their true protector. So, with the good stuff. This is a very good show. This is a very good Western, and the Westerns have been killing it on Netflix. I'm a big fan of period pieces. I think most people are. They did a really good job with this. The acting's really good. The writing's really good. No surprise with a guy like Scott Frank on there, and Steven Soderbergh. The cinematography is beautiful. The score is surprisingly really good too, even though you don't notice it as much, but when it hits so perfectly. The progression of these characters and their development throughout is really good, and I also like the way that the story is presented to us. We obviously have our modern day, and yes, they do flashbacks from this huge accident that happened caused by Roy Good and his betrayal, which you'll see. Also, when he was a boy under kind of Frank's tutelage, so to speak. And it also speaks to Frank because when you meet him, he's a mean son of a bitch. But again, everybody has their own backstories as to why they are the way they are. So you do understand him as being the main villain. So I really like the structure of it with kind of showing pieces of it. So you as the audience has to pay attention and piece together where it all kind of happened. Another huge thumbs up on this one is the final gunfight. I mean, this is a non-spoiler review, but the final scene where the gunfight happens, where the actual brawl, all the stories come together, is magnificent. I loved it. I thought it was great. The gunplay was really well done. These people know how to use these guns, flip them and turn them and just boom, 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 boom. Some of the negatives, definitely not a lot. I would say maybe it gets a little out of focus sometimes, so you do find yourself where it's moving from one character to another, trying to figure out, okay, where am I now with, and who am I following? Because, you know, they cut to certain people outside of the Roy Good, Alice Fletcher, Agnes, and Frank Griffin part. They're kind of jumping from each person, so it's tough to remember and piece together where exactly you are in the story. So it does tend to get a little unfocused towards the half, but trust me, it all comes together, and it's a very small negative. I would say that's the only thing. We got good character development. We got a lot of really good things in this. So I would definitely say check this out. If you like Westerns, I think you're going to love this. If you like Jeff Daniels, he is incredible. And most notably, both Alice Fletcher and Merrit Wever, who plays Agnes, are huge standouts. Plus, big shout out to Mr. Rob Morgan, who has been in the Netflix family for a while. He was just on Mudbound, a show that I reviewed, and he's also in this. He does not disappoint, even though it's a very small role. He still doesn't disappoint. This is definitely like at least an 8.7 out of 10 for me. It is a great show. It's not a huge investment, even though the episodes are an hour, but it definitely needs it. Have you seen Godless? Do you want to check it out? If you have, let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button to see more of our content. We'd love to hear from you. You can also email us at thefwordpodcast@gmail.com, and you can find me on Twitter at thefwordsg. That's my review. I'm G, and I am out.